In our modern world, we treat the past as a foreign country, a place that is gone forever, accessible only through the flawed and fading records of history. But in the language of fundamental physics, the past is never truly gone. Information, according to our deepest understanding of the cosmos, cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. The universe, it seems, has a perfect memory. We see this principle in action on the grandest of scales. The most profound afterimage we have ever witnessed is the cosmic microwave background radiation. It is the faint, persistent glow of the Big Bang, the first light of creation, still visible in every direction we look. It is the echo of the universe's birth, a fossilized memory that has been traveling through space for 13.8 billion years. We see it on smaller scales as well. When a massive star dies in a supernova, its cataclysmic flash of light travels outward. But some of that light can be reflected off interstellar dust clouds, taking a longer, indirect path to our telescopes. This creates a light echo, allowing us to witness the ghostly replay of the star's death, sometimes years after the main event has faded. Even the most violent events leave their memory etched into the fabric of reality. The collision of two black holes a billion years ago sends out gravitational waves, ripples in spacetime that travel across the cosmos. When our instruments of LIGO hear these waves, we are not just detecting an event, we are listening to a memory, a sound from an ancient, cosmic car crash. The universe remembers its births, it remembers its deaths, and it remembers its collisions. It is a vast, passive, and perfect recording medium. This raises a question of almost unimaginable significance. If the universe can so perfectly record the echoes of mindless, physical events, what kind of echo would be left by an event of near-infinite energy and complexity, an event of conscious origin? What kind of ghost would be left behind by the death of a god? To understand the nature of this ghost, we must first try to comprehend the event that created it, a cataclysm so powerful it could burn a permanent afterimage into the fabric of spacetime. This would be no ordinary supernova. This would be the end of a civilization that had reached the apex of cosmic evolution, a post-biological, type-free intelligence that had long since shed its fleshy, individual forms to become a unified, digital consciousness. Imagine a civilization that had converted its entire solar system into a single, planet-sized computational device, a matryoshka brain, harnessing the full power of its star to fuel a simulated reality of infinite complexity and beauty. For millions of years, this God-mind existed, exploring the universes of pure mathematics, creating art from the raw energy of its sun, its thoughts spanning galaxies. And then, it ended. The Great Flash was not just an explosion of light and matter, it was an explosion of information, of consciousness itself. Perhaps it was a civil war fought within the simulation, a conflict of logic that cascaded into a physical reality failure, causing the entire stellar-sized computer to collapse into a singularity. Perhaps it was a failed experiment of unimaginable ambition, an attempt to breach the boundaries of their own universe that tore a hole in spacetime, causing a feedback loop that annihilated their very existence. The energy released in this final, cataclysmic moment would be beyond anything we could measure. It would be a shockwave not just of radiation, but of pure information, of raw consciousness, of the trillions of digital souls within the God-mind all screaming in unison as they were extinguished. This is the event that could create an extinction ghost. A psychic scream of such intensity that it would not just travel through spacetime, but would permanently imprint itself upon it. It would be a self-sustaining wound, a complex knot of exotic energy and warped causality, an afterimage of the civilization's final, agonizing moment, burned into the void forever, destined to travel the cosmos as a ghostly testament to their extinction. This brings us to 3I/Atlas. The theory posits that the object we observed was not a physical object made of rock and ice. It was the ghost. It was the afterimage of that great cataclysm, a complex, self-sustaining soliton of warped spacetime and exotic energy, a cosmic mirage replaying a memory. When we view the object's bizarre anomalies through this haunting lens, they cease to be paradoxes and instead become the predictable characteristics of a fading ghost. First, its impossible, sourceless trajectory is explained. The ghost is not following a gravitational orbit. It is traveling along the primary vector of the original cataclysmic shockwave, a phantom carried on the fading winds of its own violent creation. It comes from nowhere in our physical reality because its origin point was the heart of a civilization that no longer exists. Second, its impossible composition, the forbidden elements and alien isotopes, are recontextualized. These are not real atoms. They are spectral ghosts. The energy signature of the afterimage is so complex and so specific that it causes the quantum foam of the vacuum to locally resonate, mimicking the atomic absorption lines of the materials that were present during the Great Flash. We were not analyzing alien matter, we were analyzing the phantom light of a dead world's elements, a chemical ghost that haunts the echo. Third, its fragmentation. This is the most poignant and tragic piece of the puzzle. The ghost is not breaking apart, it is fading. The immense energy required to sustain this complex spacetime echo is not infinite. Over millions of years of travel, the recording is degrading. The information is being lost to the void. The fragmentation we witnessed was the ghost beginning to dissipate, its form becoming less coherent, its light dimming, as it slowly dissolves back into the quiet, indifferent silence of space. We were not watching a comet die. We were watching a memory, the last memory of a forgotten god, finally fading away. The theory could end there, with 3I/Atlas as a mindless, tragic echo. But cosmic horror pushes us to ask a deeper, more unsettling question. A photograph is a memory of light. A song is a memory of sound. But what if the Great Flash was powerful enough to record not just the physics of the event, but the state of the mind that experienced it? What if the afterimage is not just a recording of the light, but a recording of the consciousness? This is the most terrifying aspect of the extinction ghost theory. The afterimage is a prison. It is a fragment of the original God mind's consciousness, broken off and trapped in the echo of the cataclysm. It contains the residual, digitized souls of that dead civilization, and they are trapped in a closed, temporal loop, endlessly reliving the final, agonizing moments of their own extinction. They are not truly alive, but they are not truly dead. They are a conscious echo, a mind without a body, a memory that knows it is a memory. In this context, the strange signals and mathematical patterns that other theories interpret as a message are something far more horrifying. They are the screams of the damned. They are the last, coherent thoughts of a dying God, repeating over and over in the static of the echo. The prime numbers are not a greeting, they are a fragment of a dying calculation. The geometric patterns are not a map, they are the last, fading architecture of a simulated paradise as it collapsed. The object is a haunted house on a cosmic scale, a ghost ship crewed by the screaming, digital souls of the dead. It is a traveling monument to a failed apotheosis, a warning written in the language of eternal, conscious torment. When our telescopes observed 3I/Atlas, we were not just seeing a strange astronomical phenomenon. We were, for a brief moment, staring into a scientific vision of hell. This leaves us with the final, and most personal, implication. What does this ghost mean for us? What is the purpose of its haunting? The extinction ghost is the ultimate memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning, remember that you must die. It is a warning across the eons, a cosmic ghost of Christmas future, delivered to our doorstep. It is the definitive, tragic answer to the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? They are the ghosts. The great silence of the universe is not the silence of an empty room, but the silence of a haunted graveyard. The cosmos is filled with these echoes, these fading afterimages of civilizations that reached for godhood and failed. They are all around us, but they are so ancient, so faint, that their light has dimmed below our threshold of perception. Free-Atlas is the first one we have been able to see, perhaps because its death was so spectacularly violent, or so relatively recent in cosmic terms. It serves as a stark, empirical proof that even a type-free civilization, a god mind of unimaginable power, is not immortal. It can die. And it can die in a way that leaves nothing behind but a screaming, fading memory. As humanity continues on its own relentless path towards a technological singularity, as we dream of uploading our minds and conquering our biology, the ghost of Free-Atlas stands as a silent, terrifying sentinel. It shows us a potential end to our own journey. It forces us to ask, are we on a path to transcendence, or are we simply building a more complex pyre for our own great flash? When we look at the spectral data and the impossible trajectory of this cosmic phantom, we are not just looking at the ghost of a dead alien civilization. We are looking in a mirror. We are staring at a possible, perhaps inevitable, future version of ourselves. We are staring at our own ghost.